Who does not enjoy a cute baby cow? How everybody? How are y'all doing today? So this is one of the kits I have with Paper Craft Socials. They're all designed by Vintage Press Studio, and this one she named Lil Moo-La Farm. So there's all sorts of things in here that are farm related, all baby animals, and it's so adorable. And of course, it's these light pastel colors that makes it even more fun. I am Christy with Christy Creations and a mixed media artist. Let's jump right on in. The first two pieces, first thing I want to say is when you're cutting out every thing, if they have a tab, where's one of my other tabs? Please do not cut these off. These tabs need to stay on, and it will make more sense down the line. So first thing I'm going to be working on is the baby cow. You have two pieces here that are semi-flimsy right now. Well, this is going to be a 3D card, so these are going to be pushed up some. You're going to have plenty of paper options. I have mine pulled out right here, where you're going to literally glue these to the back of this and then cut them out. So let's get started on that. I have a glue stick, glue runner, and liquid glue for all of this. And we're just going to put it down. First thing first, I'm going to double check something. These have hearts. I want the hearts going up at the top, not at the bottom. Just so I make sure I glue everything down correctly. Because that's something I would probably forget to check. And when I go to cut it, that's when I figure it out. So I personally use my tape runner and just go around the edges to give that little extra support that the glue stick sometimes misses. It's not a required step, but it's one I prefer doing. And then I'll take my glue stick and rub the whole inside to make sure it's all good and covered. Now this one I'm going to be slightly off screen on you, so let me pull it on screen. I'm putting down towards the bottom. I did not cut off my edging, so I'm going in a little to make sure we cover everything. So just like that, and as you can see, my printer did not go all the way in, so I calculated for that. We're going to do the exact same with this top one, then we will cut. I'm trying to make sure I'm staying in screen for y'all because I do have a habit of going off screen. Something I never thought I'd find cute. I do not want to own them, but just a cute Highland cow in general is so neat to see. And there is a place that you can do glamping, and you're literally in the Highland cow area. So I don't know if it's in their corral or where you're set up, but you literally get to wake up to Highland cows right outside your glamping tent door. And truthfully, if I was someone who didn't mind camping, even if it's a glamping style, that'd probably be on my bucket list to do. So we have these glued. Now's the time to cut them. I normally use fussy cut scissors, similar to these, to do so, but I'm not going to make y'all watch me cut them. I was smart and pre-prepped. Normally I would end up pausing and cut, but I'm like, I can pre-prep. So as you can see, the backing is now, and it's not as flimsy. I'm going to personally take my bone folder. You do not need this. You can literally use anything that has a good edge to it. I'm going to fold my tabs back so I do not forget to do that. So I know what I'm doing later with them. It's already pre-prepped. Another reason I do this is if my glue did not stick, that pops off now, I can re-glue it and let it sit. So let's get this next one. There we go. Now Now something cute you can easily do if you're someone who has diamond dust or willing to touch glitter, adding a little, different places on this front would be really cute. But I'm not one of those. I am looking at a different option for glitter for me in the future, but it's not going to be where it's going to be a mess. I can tell you that now. But right now we need to locate these two tags and then this piece right here. This is going to be pretty straightforward. We're going to glue these on each side after we fold them. Some of the hardest part is actually doing the folding, because I normally fold the pink to the white and I'm not used to folding the other way around. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and crease that to make it a little better. Now, you can use double-sided tape. I'm again using my tape runner. Unless it runs out on me today, then I'll have to switch to double-sided tape. But I'll be honest, my go-to is my tape runner. And it just ran out. And one of the reasons I like my tape runner is if I accidentally go over like I just did there, I can clean that up with no issue. So, let me grab some tape right now and I'll add some glue to it to get this stuck down good. And I need a little more right. Go and pull that off. And put a little more right there where I need it. And then pull that off again. Maybe. Okay. So what we're going to do is I'm going to keep it where it's folded up so I know where I'm laying it down. And I'm going to lay it down just like that. But since I am using double-sided tape, I am going to run a little bit of glue to it. Where I will also do this even if I was using the other, but I'm not as secure with the double-sided tape as I am over time holding up, especially in Texas heat. I guess is the words I'm looking for. So that side's down. I left my glue cap lid open, and so I was trying to close it real quick. And you're going to go ahead and see, I'm going to be very careful because I'm working on top of the paper, where I'm going to drop a couple of spots, even on this one. I actually got a little on that. Luckily, this glue is easy to wipe off. And we're going to line up just like so. Press down. And we're going to fold it over. Yes, there's a little gap, but that's okay. You'll see it going away here shortly, probably. But we're going to actually do something a little different in the slab. I had someone here with me. They thankfully opened the packaging for the refill of my double-sided tape. I love this because it's actually recycled fishnet. I can open this case, pop out the old one. As you can tell, it's been used very well. And as you can tell the difference on them, pop in this one here. If it needs to, I can adjust this tighter, but it feels good, so I think we're good to go. And I am closing it up, and it just clipped closed. And now I have a new one, and that one's just ready to go to the trash. Unfortunately, this part's not recyclable. I wish so much, but it's not. But at least a little bit of plastic's being saved. Alrighty. So we have our adorable cows. And they will be literally laying here shortly. Right here on this, so there probably will be a slight gap. Now here's something you need to think about. Do you want to put a actual bow up here and a bow down here and be able to tie this shut or not? I'm not going to, but I think finding some cute cow print ribbon that would go with that might look cute there. And this is a calf, not a cow, that I've been calling it this entire time. Anyway, we need these 2 pieces now. And yes, I'm over here laughing at myself for a few minutes. And I'm probably going to get all of these wrong too. There's a little bunny, and it is another little calf. I think there is a sheep on one of the tags. Yeah, there's a baby sheep. I'm not sure what term that one is. And then the baby bunny again, and so forth. And then you have a whole farmhouse with them all in the background. So, yeah, I'm not great with animal names, as you can tell. So basically what we're going to be doing is gluing this to the back here. And I'm going to use, because then you're also then going to turn around and glue it to here. So it'll kind of go like that. Alright, so let's get this pulled off and put this to the side right a second, because we are working on this piece first. So I'm just going to, you have 2 options. I can either put that all the way to the bottom. My issue is trying to figure out how to line these up to the best I can for a seamless pattern, which is not as easy as I'd like to pretend it to be. So I'm literally holding it on the back. I'm not worried about using too much glue right this second. Or then a little bit of and we're going to press that down. If you need to, you can clip this and let it sit for a little bit, because right now it's going to pop up like that, which is perfectly fine. Now here comes the fun part. I'm going to make sure we stay in my screen. I'm going to line the 2 bottom pieces up to the best of my ability. I may just go for it and see what happens. I'm going to hold it like that. I'm going to slide this on top of that little crease, the little tab we have over there. And now I'm going to work on adjusting it where it needs to be, which is easier said than done, trust me. Okay, if I got it right, we'll find out here in a minute. So I have it over here. We're going to do the same thing. And I'm going to slide up a little real quick for y'all. I'm just going to run my tape runner and a little bit of glue. And then we're going to press it down. And happily allowing it to pop up right now. Okay. Our next section, our spot we're going to do, is I'm going to literally just glue this down on top of the other one and do the same thing over here. So, and I'm already coming up with ideas of how I'm going to do another video of this where we're just going to bling it all out. Now I'm going to have to go to look at for that paint, either glitter paint where the glitter stays on in the paint, or something else, because I want to use glitter on this really badly. But I am not buying a bottle of glitter and sprinkling. That is where I draw my line. So I'm going to be very careful and put my hand under here because I don't want to get any glue on the cow. I wonder how about a little bit of foil on this somewhere, maybe. Maybe some pink foil, like rose gold foil. I'll have to figure it all out. Give me some time to think on it. Then we'll get back to y'all. Okay, I'm going to line it up at the bottom and then just let it drop. Unfortunately, if you're very picky, you may have to come back and trim some on them. I'm not going to worry about that for this video. I may go back, trim, and ink later. We'll see. I am not doing any inking on this one, as you can already tell. So if you want ink, you probably should have already been doing some inking. And I forgot to tell y'all that at the beginning. Normally I'm a little better at that. Alright. So, got a little bit on the cow head, but it's easy to rub off with that, thankfully. Now let's get that glue on. I'm going to be a little more careful because I'm just going to hold it down. I'm not going to hold it in my hand this time. If you are curious, I work off a silicone mat. However, you can use foil, a parchment paper, a plastic table mat, placemat. There are so many options besides for the one piece I personally bought. I just figured with how much I am doing this, having something I could roll up and take with me would be a plus. Alrighty, here we are. Slightly off-centered, but there we go. Let's get this back on now. So the back's pretty straightforward. We've been doing it already, where we're just going to glue this down across the board. So. And sometimes, yes, I stick myself to my own glue. Now we're going to just go ahead and drop this over. I'm off screen, I apologize. So I lined it up at the bottom and just let it drop. Now you have the basic card made. You can stop here, or you can keep going. Now if you're not careful and don't fold correctly like I was, not careful where I have a little bit of folding off, it will have a little bit of weird layout. So I'm going to set that to the side for a second. And I'm going to pull some pieces up. We have all sorts of tags here. And I'm just going to lay them out. They're already all pre-decorated. You have a couple different options you can do. You can leave these tags just as is. You can, say you want to add the extra bunny on top of the bunny, go right ahead. Or even better, the flowers on top of the bunny. That looks good. You can just lay them where you want, hole punch both and pull the ribbon through. I have not bought my ribbon yet because I needed to make this before I bling it out. I always have to see it before I can really do any blinging. That's just something about me. So I bought a hole punch set at Hobby Lobby of these three. The fun part about this one, the biggest one, works perfect in these holes. If you don't want a ton of hole punches, you can get this at any office supply, Walmart, Target, anywhere. I prefer this because it has a better handle for me. More comfortable handle is what I go for. So even though I don't have my ribbon yet, I'm going to punch these tags so I do not forget. I have some white organza and pink organza I'm playing with, or maybe I'm using this with this. I have some cord style ribbon that might be fun to use with this. Maybe something brown, more rustic. I mean, skies are the limit. So this is where I'll show you where you can put different things, but these are pretty much put where you want to in the end kind of thing. That is more up to you. Then you have to follow my lead. And I just realized I missed pulling one of my pieces over. So, but we are going to put those back to the side because we have a couple of other things we need to work with. So I have all the pockets, tags, all that set over to the side on this side. So we have two of these, two of these. Let me flip those correctly. These two. That's up to you if you want them to match or flipped. And a pocket. So has anyone ever made a folder, an envelope style folder before? If you're new to this, I understand not even knowing what I'm talking about right now. So first thing you're going to do is you're going to fold it in half, preferably straight over the crookedness I was trying to do. Then you're going to fold the tabs in. You're just going to glue them in, liquid, double-sided tape, any of that. And then you use some Velcro to seal it off with. If your Velcro's too big, you'll just, I'm going to fold the top down real quick, sorry. If your Velcro's too big, cut in half before you pull it off your sheet so you don't gum up your scissors. So. Same if you're using foam dots. Before you take the tack, pull it off the sheet and so forth. Cut it in half if you need to, or however many times to make it fit, so it does not gum up your scissors. Of course, there's things you can buy that can clear off that. And that will be something I'll talk about in a future video, but not today. So normally I would use glue and clamp this down, but for y'all, I'm being nice and just go ahead and using my nice tape runner. So this one, a full Velcro will not work. If you go to Hobby Lobby, you can get tiny Velcros and that would be perfect and you don't have to cut them at all. I have big with me, so I will wait till I get to my house and my supplies and get the tiny Velcros personally. I may just need to give in and order a supply of them off of Amazon where I have more than 20 of them at a time. But that's a me issue, not y'all. So I'm going to double these pockets up. I'm going to glue on the sides and the bottom, and then I'm going to stick it on top of that bigger tab pocket that we're making. So if you're not familiar with barely art glue, you see how that has some glue on it right now? If I pull that off, it'll clear some things up. And you just run your glue. Now I'm going to pick it up carefully and I'm going to drop it down. I'm going to do the exact same thing with this other one here. So they will be prepped here in a few minutes when I'm ready to use them. I know this is something I could technically do ahead of time, but I want y'all to see this. Because sometimes I assume you know what you're doing, but then I also have to remember, people assumed I knew what I was doing at the beginning. So I'm trying not to do that to anyone else. So I'm actually going to work off the back. And if you're wondering if you get what you saw, I have a baby wipe over here to clean the glue off my hands if I get too much as I work. but I don't need that. So I'm taking these cowhide prints and adding them to the back to add a little bit more fun. You don't have to, but that is definitely what I am going to be doing. And there we go. And you're just going to put it in the corner. Let me move up a little higher before I place it down. And we're just going to put it in the corner and let it fall. It'll take, the glue I take takes about 5 minutes to completely set, 24 hours to completely cure. And it's why I like it is I have slight wiggle room, but not a lot of wet time. Okay. We're going to push this down here too and let it drop. Would y'all like me to make another one in the future? I know I'm going to do a blinged out version and show you how to do the things, but would y'all like me to do one where I ink things and y'all can see it inked as well? Drop that in the comments if you want one inked. So you have an option here. You can literally take this and glue it to the back. I'm not going to. I have a whole different plan for this one. So we are flipping back inside. These pockets are pretty easy. One's going on each side. So I'm going to push up where you can see it on this side. And then we'll move forward. I'm going to do the edge, bottom, and edge. For records, I have the bottom facing away from me and the head facing towards me, the top facing towards me. It's easier for me to glue it that way, but I don't have to. Now we're going to place that right there. We're going to pull this one and do the exact same thing for the other side. I'll get the glue on first and then I'll move it where it can be in the seam. Press that down for a second. Sometimes you have to repress if it starts popping up. Alright, and we're just going to drop this at the bottom. Sometimes you also have to grab a clip and hold the outside. It all depends on how it works and doesn't work. Now I just did something you're not supposed to do. I left my glue cap off, my glue stick. It's fixed now, but that's not ideal, trust me. It will dry it out. So we have two of these. These are going to be very simple and go in the middle here. And then I'm not going to glue it yet, but I'm going to, instead of gluing, I plan to just tuck this in here where it's easily pulled in and out. And since I'm not going to glue this, my plan is to come back, grab one of these prints, let's say this print here, and what I'll do is flip it over, smack it on, glue it, cut it, and then I have instead of a plain pink black, I have a decorated black back on it. Same thing with our tags. You can do the exact same thing with them if you want to. That is all up to y'all. I'm not going to do that on the live because that will take a little time. And I am extremely slow cutter. So I do the line at the bottom and the line on the side. I forgot to say I'm using a fine point tip from Barely Glue. And that is one of my two glues I go to use for paper crafting. The other is Tombow for the glue stick and the tape runner. I have just random Amazon double-sided tape right now. I have bought some score tape and red tape, but I have not actually used them yet. So those will be, y'all be brought along to learn more about those later, but those are not today. So there we go. Now you put your tags where you want them, and your cute little your cute little cap is finished. Thank you all for joining me. I look forward to seeing you next time. Bye, everybody.